Hi, thanks for checking back, and I'm sorry it's been so long since I made another video. I was on a roll, and I was really trying to do one every month, and when it turned out well, I was doing one every other week, and I was thrilled with my progress. Um, and then I changed offices. I moved out of my home office and moved into this space that you see behind me. And it took a couple of months to move in, which is stunning and uncomfortable because it shouldn't take that long. And then it took another month and a half to recover the balance in my books because moving is expensive. And then dealing with Comcast. So, um, I was going to do a video, general, very basic introduction of partnerships. And what I've realized, because I'm currently working on incorporating for a client into an S Corp. And what I've realized is that I think I covered some of the general basics without really providing any kind of a springboard to actually know what you need to do to incorporate as an S Corp or even an LLC. I think what I was lacking was practicality. And that kind of practicality is the information that you need to know in order to at least know, I don't know, how to do it. I'm not saying that you will do it on your own or that you'll hire an attorney or that you need to or should or do anything like that, but just so that you know, if you hire somebody, if you go to LegalZoom, if you do it yourself, these are the things that you need to incorporate as an S Corp. An LLC is different. It's really basic. You need an Articles of Operation to be filed with the state and your bylaws. You need to file an annual update for, I think it's $75 a year in January or February. It's really super easy and super basic. You don't file your bylaws. You keep the bylaws in your book of incorporation. And you should keep records as usual. Your tax returns, etc., should also be kept in those books. As well as your whatever decisions that you've made. If you've filed a doing business as, or if you've amended anything, if you've changed over, if you've dissolved, whatever. It should be kept in one file. And an S Corp, however, is a lot more complex. And as I have been working through this client's work, it's actually gotten annoying because he is a very established business owner. He already owned a business that was successful. He sold 51% of it and then sold the remaining 49% for a lot of money, and then he started this business from the ground. He had it incorporated by himself as an LLC with a slightly different name, and now he wants an S Corp, and he hired me. So he let the LLC lapse, and he's been working as without incorporation as a sole proprietor. Now he hired a professional to do it, and he's actually, because he knows so much, he's kind of a difficult client because he doesn't want to listen to an attorney. What he wants is something that he already knows, and he wants to be able to work with it very easily in the future without having to deal with an attorney necessarily, which can be annoying because, I come in with all my bright ideas and have all this savvy for how to build wealth. And that's not just the point of what I went to school for, but actually the point of my practice is to help people keep money. Now, an S Corp, like an LLC, you can have it owned by two people, two types of things. Now, an LLC can be owned by anything. A nonprofit, it can be owned by another LLC. It can be owned by a person. It can be owned by a group of people. It could be owned by a partnership or one partner of a partnership. It can be owned by a thing, and that's a joke. Anyway, an LLC or an S Corp, on the other hand, can only be owned by two things. It can be owned by a real person or by a trust. It cannot be owned by another business, cannot be owned by a nonprofit or a partnership or a partner in a partnership. It can be owned by a person or by a trust. And if you have been following my videos, you know that I like the idea of a trust owning things because it keeps all the money itself and then gives distributions to its beneficiaries. So that nest egg just continues to grow, and it can be passed on so easily to spouses, to kids, to institutions, if you want to leave it to the, Institute of Arts or to the Humane Society or whatever, so easy to do, and the tax issues are non-existent. It's only upon distribution that there's any kind of income issues. Otherwise, it just grows, and you don't have to pretend anything. You don't have to try and cut your losses. You don't have to try to make losses happen with expenses at the end of the year by giving things away. It's, you know what I mean? You can be pretty much selfish right off the bat, which is nice. So that's the ultimate goal. But another thing is that S-corps, you actually have to have more than just 3 documents or 2 documents. You have to file your articles of incorporation with the state, and you have to have bylaws, but you also have to have your incorporator's statement, your board of directors statement first meeting, and your shareholders first meeting statements. And then you might want to also consider your buy-sell agreement. I'm going to go into each of these in a little bit of detail. So you don't want to file anything with the state except the articles of incorporation. The articles of incorporation just identify who your registered agent is and your registered office, where it's at. You want to make sure to give a really general statement of the company's purpose. Now, a nonprofit, you have to actually designate, like, this is for an educational purpose and this is what we hope to do within the community. You cannot get your tax exempt status without really identifying how it fits within that statute. But here, no, you want to leave it as broad and general as possible. So, anyway, I didn't want to wear my glasses on my videos, but I just feel like it ages me. So at any rate, the documents that you want to have now, you want to file those with the state, and that really is just to alert any of your consumers to who and where you are located. If someone in the UP, speaking Michigan talk, if someone in the UP contracts for your services, or they see something and they want to know where to locate this place who did this awesome graphic art, then they can look online and they can find you. They can send you a letter and say or to sue you, which is really what it's about. If somebody has to sue you and says, they stole my idea and I need to find them so I can serve them, that's how they're going to serve you and find you and serve you, is because of that. You don't want to include anything extra to help anybody sue you later on. So your bylaws are so you're going to keep a copy of the form that you file with the state, and then when they send it back with dated timestamp that says it's been accepted and entered, you're going to keep the original copy. You're going to keep that in your binder. Right here, just 3-ring binder with tabs, because the first one is going to be your incorporation. Your incorporation, and then the second one and subsequent can be your annual updates, your meeting minutes, etc. You can do it by year. So I gave him a big binder because I want him to be in business for a number of years. So your bylaws are going to be general, and you can usually find them online, but as an attorney, now I do have forms. We follow forms too. We don't just come out of the blue randomly creating brand new bylaws that go in the face of everything that has been used as bylaws in the past, because when you're dealing with attorneys, we get tired of having to read and reread things, and we don't need new jazz thrown in. We need, here's the provision about the articles of incorporation, here's a provision about shareholders, here's a provision about the bylaws. We know exactly what to look for and where. Now, so if you do away with something with, say, a Section 488 agreement, where you obliterate the board of directors because you're a single member, a single owner S-corp, and you completely get rid of a board of directors, then you are going to have to state board of directors, and you can say, they don't exist anymore under the Section 488 agreement, which is attached as an exhibit or as an attachment. But just so that you know that it's there, so it doesn't look like you forgot to include provision about your board of directors. But you want your bylaws to just follow form, and you do want to cater it. Do not change too much, because you're going to be giving away powers or rights. You want to have a copy of your articles of incorporation Then you want to have the actual articles of incorporation. You want to have when it's returned to you by the state. You want to have your FEIN. You want to have your bylaws, your incorporator statement, your initial shareholders statement, your initial board of directors meeting. You want to have your Section 488 agreement, and you want to have your buy-sell agreement. Those are your incorporation documents for an S Corp. And I'll try to remember to add at the end, just some basic paperwork so that you can see how short these single member, why is that my sword carrot sometimes? So you can see how basic these single member S Corp documents have to be, because they don't have to be that intense, and instead they can be really short paragraphs, one paragraph that's signed by the single shareholder. So let me see if I can find something immediately. Of course I can't. What do I have? Written consents in lieu. See, here's one. Let me cover it. Of course it has the company name. Shoot. So it's a basic one paragraph document that says some basic information, and of course now you can zero in on it. But I just wanted to show you how short they can be. It doesn't have to be anything really long and drawn out. Again, the organizational minutes of the shareholder, one page. The first meeting of the board of directors is unfortunately longer, but that's because it deals with the bylaws too. And then of course your share certificates, your initial notation of the shares. That's that. Please send questions or comments either below here or on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/SalasLawOnline, or on my website at www.salaslawonline.com, or even on my Twitter. So that's that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and your attempt to watch. Thank you. Bye.